Hi everybody, welcome back to Andrea Fontana Beauty. Today we're going to be doing a really fun video. I'm actually really excited for this one because it was a nice surprise. I am on Pixi Beauty's PR list, and every now and then they send me some goodies along, and I got this beautiful unexpected package for them that included 4 palettes. So since there's an eye palette, a like contour and highlight palette, this one looks like blushes and highlights, and then a lip and cheek, I decided that's almost a full face. So why don't we do a makeup look testing out all these palettes. I know I've been pretty harsh on Pixi eyeshadows in the past. So I'm hoping that since these are all collaboration palettes, for now, I'm hoping that the textures are a little different. I usually love their blushes and their highlighters and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that I love all of this stuff. Obviously, it's not a complete face, so I do have a few products sprinkled in there just to kind of fill the holes, but let's get started. If you hear any noises in the background, I'm filming, I mean, if you're anywhere in the Midwest, it literally is just raining every day for like 2 weeks straight. So it's thunderstorming right now, and if you hear any weird loud noises, it's most likely thunder. So let's get started. All right, I just wanted to zoom you in a little bit there. We are gonna start, as always, with a little bit of a brow. So, as always, any products I'm using will be linked below, but this is the deep shade of my personal favorite drugstore tinted brow gel of all the ones I've tried. There, I just wanted a quick little something. This look isn't going to be super dramatic. It's really for testing purposes. So we're going to start with the eyes. So I'm going to put on my eyeshadow primer that I've been using. Fenty Beauty Pro Amplifying eyeshadow primer, something like that. You'd think after the amount of times that I've said it in a video I would remember, but of course it'll be linked below. So we're going to start with the eyes. This is the Pixi and Tina Yong. I'm just gonna open it since you can see. There you go. It's fun. I love that it's like kind of neutral, a good mix of mattes and shimmers, and some fun summer colors in here. We're gonna start with taking a fluffy brush. I'm gonna go in with this. I'm gonna go in with this matte yellow nude cream color, but if you are fairer than then I would probably go for that one. But I like that there's 2 options in this palette, so that's nice as a good base. So I'm just gonna buff that all over where I put the primer. Okay? So you can see, did a pretty great job of, I like using a slight yellow tone because it neutralizes some of the like darkness that I naturally have on my lids and my veining and stuff. So that's why I like to use a slightly yellow one. So I always love when a palette has that. So that's already a perk. I will say that they're pretty soft shadows. So I feel like there's a lot of fallout, but you know, for some people that makes it a lot easier to blend. So I'm not gonna necessarily hate on that. Next, what I'm going to go in with is this shade up here in the top corner. It's like a good little mid-tone shade, and I think I'm going to use that through the crease. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear the rain? I can't wait to edit this back and see what it sounds like. So loud. So I'm just popping that with a fluffy brush through the crease. Okay. So you can see that's just really gently diffused through the crease. That blended pretty easily. I do feel like I would prefer for this to be a little more pigmented, but if this opinion on pigmentation can honestly kind of vary depending on who you are. If you're new to makeup, then sometimes these shadows that aren't like crazy intensely pigmented can be really nice because they're not as difficult to blend out and they don't give as much impact. So if you're kind of new to blending and learning the different techniques, they can be honestly really helpful. I'm gonna go in with this is a pencil brush, kind of smudgy, and I'm gonna go in with this like cranberry tone that's right there, and I'm gonna pop that in the outer corner. And then go in with my fluffy brush and just blend that out a little bit. Again, apply a little bit more. I mean, I wish the pigment was a little stronger. I feel like it's taking me a lot of product to deepen that up. So let's actually go in with, see that one right there? It's like a shimmery deep, brown. There we go. Give me some color payoff. I mean, okay, so there is a pro. Obviously that just blended out really easily. These are very soft shadows. And there is a pro to them being not crazy pigmented. I mean, I think if you're new to makeup or experimenting with eyeshadow, I think it's great to have a formula that makes blending darker colors less intimidating. Quite the intensity that I want though. So I'm gonna go in with this matte brown that's right here. And I'm just gonna really deepen that up. Okay, so now that we've got that there, I'm actually gonna spray I'm feeling a pink moment, like this pinky purple shade. So what I'm gonna do is spray my flat shader brush, and I'm gonna dip into this bright pinky fuchsia purple color, and I don't like how this is going on. Like using let's try my finger. It's too chalky. I want to love it because I do like the color. We're gonna use my finger because this is just not. Try this again. So when you spray your brush with a setting spray and then put it in the shadow, it should honestly make it a lot easier to work with the eyeshadow. But I feel like that just made it way harder. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with a blending brush and just buff out that inner portion. Okay, I'm going to go back in. How do I want to do this? I honestly think I'm going to take some of this orangey tone right here, just a little bit, and kind of like run some of it up here, not really showing up. Okay, I guess on that side a little bit. Maybe we just need some warmth on the outside here. Okay, instead of going with this dark brown, I'm warming it up a little bit with this like really warm matte, like medium tone brown. Maybe that's what's throwing me. I don't know. I mean, I could definitely tell you that I don't like the shadows. Here we go. I think that's as good as it's gonna get, guys. I don't love it, but it's okay. Not every eyeshadow palette's gonna be your cup of tea. This will most likely be donated to my niece as makeup she can play with. Just because I already have so many palettes that I love that it's kind of like, why would I keep this one if I have others that I love more? I'm curious to see how much the price is. Let's look up the price. $24? Okay, guys. If that was like $10, I'd be like, yeah, it's a great palette to start with. But $24 feels a little bit too expensive for what it is. I mean, I just tried like 8 shadow colors maybe, and they were pretty chalky and pretty hard to work with. Hard to build up the impact, which, I don't know, that might be a pro for you. So maybe this is your ideal palette, but $24 just feels like a lot for what it is. All right, so now we're gonna move on, and we're actually gonna use a product that I have used once, but I'm very late to the bandwagon on, and that is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Couldn't say that. So this is supposed to be a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, which I have used, and I do love. I can see why it's compared to it, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's like a very even dupe. I don't know. It's much more thin and less, what's the word I want to use? It's just thinner and waterier than the Silk Canvas primer. I do love that one. And I think I do like this one. I don't know if I noticed a whole bunch of a difference when I used it on how my makeup went on, but we're going to use it again today. We're going to keep using it and see what we think. And I'm sure I'll share somewhere my thoughts on it once I've used it a little better. My skin right now is kind of like in between foundations, so when that's the case, I always bring out my trusty L'Oreal Luminous, or True Match Lumi Glotion, sorry, and do a nice little squeeze of that with a foundation. So I'm going to use the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation with sunscreen and just a little bit. I'm not looking for super full coverage today, so I don't really mind if I still have a little bit popping through. This is more so just for testing out the next products from Pixi. So I just mixed those 2 L'Oreal products together, and now I am buffing them into the skin. Next, let's go with our NARS Creamy Concealer in the shade Nougatine. Put that in. Can you hear that thunderstorm? I'm not gonna lie, doing my makeup during a thunderstorm is kind of relaxing. It's like I have music on, but I don't. That's the one thing that sucks about filming YouTube videos, is I can never do my music with the music on because of copyright issues. Starting to like the eyes more as the face comes together, which is often, again, the case. Okay, so we're gonna set with, I actually think we're gonna try to set with this powder. There's this, so this is now the Pixi and Promise palette, the Shapeshifter palette, and it has what looks to be, so 2 brightening powders, then 4 contour shades, and then 3 highlight shades. Excuse me, that's 5 contour powders right here, and then these 2 are highlights. So I'm gonna take a fluffy setting brush, and I'm actually gonna go in with the more yellow, so the deeper of the two. And I'm going to gently set. All right, I'm not mad about that. Actually, it was pretty nice. It's really finely milled, so I feel like it just, and it blended in really easily, and it's taking away the shine so easily. Like, it's mattifying, I feel like, with hardly any product. See how matte I look? Wow, okay, Pixi. Maybe this palette will be more of a winner for us. I'm gonna actually take a little bit of this lighter one too and go over that just under the eyes. Just to give us a little bit more of a highlighting action. And maybe a little bit right through the center. And on the... Okay, I'm not mad about that. That was pretty great. I really like that. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with a little contour brush, and I think I'm gonna start with this grayish tone. I'm gonna, honestly, I feel like I'm gonna mix these two. No, I'm gonna start with the really gray toned one. How do we feel about that? I'm gonna go in with the one that's a little bit darker. Do my forehead a little bit more. So I'm going in with this one now down here. Through the hairline and the sides of my forehead. That just blended really easily. Okay, I like this palette. Now I'm even going to take the slightest bit of this dark one, which this is going to be a good test. Literally barely touch my brush into it. And just on the outside right here, sharpen up that. Yeah, I mean, hardly any product. Which honestly, sometimes when I'm in a rush, I really like that I can take a deeper product and just get the definition I want really quickly. I like that. That contoured very easily. It blended really nicely. I am going to go in with, I like to go in with my setting brush and just kind of, I don't know, hit up some edges there. Wow, okay. Well, that was phenomenal so far. I want to try out the lip and blush palette so this is the one that is the Pixi and Louise Rowe lip and blush. So there's a lot of choices in here, and I actually want to try using one of these like more nude shades. Then we're gonna go in with this one right there. I'm gonna put a little bit on my middle and ring finger, just like that. And I'm going to use it as a cream blush because it says that I can do that. Oh, that was so easy. So I just did a little swirl with one finger, swirl with the other finger, and then pop it on the cheeks. Okay, I really love that. That was so easy to work with. We're gonna come back to that for the lips. So next we're gonna go in with the Pixi and Makeup by Denise palette. So this is the Mind Your Glow, Find the Light And this is the blushes and the highlighters. So I'm gonna actually go in with this one down here. And I'm gonna use the slightest bit as like a blush topper. Ooh, yes. So this is the shade Aura. So sometimes Pixi puts the shade names on the back. Sometimes they don't. Good, what a pretty glow. If you like a shimmery blush and a highlight, yeah, that's super nice. Then we're gonna go in with a fluffier brush, and we're gonna go in with the shade High Beam, which is this one, I think. How does this work? No, this is Sunstone. I always get confused when you flip over a palette and you're like, okay, is it the one that's directly under it like this, or is it like if we were looking at the front? I think it's the Sunstone. So I'm gonna add just a slight bit, which adds just a little bit more of a sheen. That's pretty. I'm also going to take the tiniest little bit on my ring finger and put that in the inner corner, and there we go. Now, with a powder brush, the same one I used to set under my eyes, just like that, just to blend things out. So I feel like you can see this on camera right now. I don't know if you normally can, but I have this little patch right here. It probably looks like there's no makeup on it. And that would be, I mean, my entire life. I have this one little patch of skin that is like so ridiculously smooth. I have keratosis pilaris all over my face, so I have like little bumps, similar to like what you get on the back of your arms. I have that all over my cheeks. I've had it since I was little. And for some reason, I don't have it in this one little, it basically looks like a fingerprint, like right there. And no makeup likes to stick to it. It's very weird. It's very, very weird. But sometimes, depending on how the light hits it, it's more noticeable because it's like this super smooth, random spot. Lastly, what I want to do is take a pencil brush. Again, we're going to go back in with the eye palette, and I think I'm going to take this warm brown tone and just starting on the outer third, just to kind of bring it in 2/3 of the way, just to balance that out and then kind of connect it. Okay. I'm going to hop off camera, do my mascara, and then I'll come meet you back here. And, okay, I like that highlighter. It's a really smooth, not glittery highlighter. I like that a lot. Okay, I'm getting distracted by my cheeks. I'm gonna meet you back here and we're gonna do lips, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and we're gonna choose some lips. I kind of want to go for just like a nice pinky, corally, not too pink. See what this looks like. I'm just, again, taking on my ring finger. Okay, I'm obsessed with how that feels on my lips. It honestly, it reminds me a lot of the Pixi On The Glow, the blush sticks that I've been using a lot recently. It's like, I wonder if it's the same formula. It gives you a nice wash of color, but it doesn't feel like you have a lipstick on. I'm obsessed. Especially when it's really hot out. I love this like wash of color. I sometimes call it popsicle lips, where you like kind of have a stain. My lips feel hydrated. They don't feel dry. They don't, honestly, they don't feel sticky. They don't feel like there's anything on. I really like this. Okay, I'm really obsessed with this. This might be my favorite one of them all because there's so many options. Now I feel like I have cream blush in whatever color I could ever want. Should I rank them? Let's rank them. Okay, so Coming in 4th place, we have the Pixi and Tina Yong palette. The eyeshadow palette. Sorry guys, I wanted to love Pixi eyeshadows and I was really hoping it was a new formula, but it wasn't. Or if it was, it wasn't on par with... It's just eyeshadows are so good from the drugstore now, guys. Like, get a Juvia's Place palette. You will pay less than $24 and you will have much better quality eyeshadows. So it's like, when there's better options on the market, like, I just can't recommend it. So 4th place goes to that. 3rd place goes to... 2nd and 3rd place are pretty even. So I like these both. 3rd place I'm going to give to the Pixi and Makeup by Denise Mind Your Own Glow Find the Light palette. And that's honestly just because... Actually, am I going to give it to this one? No. You know what? I'm going to... These are tied, guys. I can't decide. I like them both. I like them both. So the Pixi Makeup by Denise and the Pixi and Promise. The contour palette. This is the contour palette and then the highlighter and blush one. I like them both. I was super impressed with the quality of the texture of the powders. I didn't try the highlighter. Maybe I should try that soon. I'll let you know. And I really like honestly, the shade variety. I think they did a really good job picking these shades because you've got some deeper ones that are a little brighter. You have more neutral, more gold. I like when there's like a full range of like white to gold to pink to champagne to yellow. Like, super important when it comes to highlighters because everybody kind of needs a different tone. So I think that is really beautiful. I don't know how useful this would be if you aren't somebody who experiments with a lot of, like if you tend to stick to the same types of highlighter tones or blush tones, then this might not be a wonderful one for you. And so maybe this one would be a better option. But in the #1 spot has got to be this Pixi and Louise Rowe Cream Rouge Palette Lip Blush is what it says. I mean, simply because if there's ever a time that I want variety in tones, it's eyeshadows and lips. Like, the fact that there's so many different ones that I can use these as a cream blush, which I love, is huge. And the fact that I love the texture on my lips, it's drying down a little bit, so still super comfortable and feels like nothing. But the fact that I can like do all of these colors to choose from, and I can do like a lip and cheek monochromatic moment, I love that. So I will have all 4 linked down below. I mean, obviously, I feel like falling in love with 3 of the 4 palettes is pretty good, right? Like, this one's just okay. Not my favorite. But I love all 3 of these. And I would recommend them, all 3 of them. So I think that's pretty good. 3 out of 4. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's the easiest way that you can support Andrea Fontana Beauty, and it's free. So why not? And I hope you'll stick around and see me in my next video. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.